Hello everyone. Today we're looking at the action comedy Crocodile Dundee, a series that most of our listeners are probably familiar with. Crocodile Dundee is considered one of the best action comedies of all time. Today we're taking a trip back in time and watching the film with the entire cast to compare the past with the present. We'll reveal the actors' original names and ages and show how they've changed up until 2023. Let's get started. Paul Hogan. Mick Crocodile Dundee. In 1986, at the age of 47, an age from which many other actors gradually retire, Paul Hogan became an overnight global star thanks to his role as Mick Crocodile Dundee. Before his fame, he was a simple laborer, eking out a living as a road worker, house painter, and construction laborer. This bleak and uncertain life had never led Hogan to consider becoming a movie star, let alone to dream of a career in Hollywood. The opportunity arose by chance when Hogan was cast in an Australian comedy series. His natural, down-to-earth, and realistic acting style contributed to his popularity. When Crocodile Dundee hit theaters, no one expected the low-budget film to become a worldwide success, grossing over $300 million, a staggering sum in the 1980s. Hogan went from an unknown actor to an international star overnight. Mick Dundee's image, a wild, brave, witty, and compassionate man, quickly became a pop culture icon. From Australia to the US, from movies to television, the name Crocodile Dundee was ubiquitous. Hogan secured countless endorsement deals, appeared in films and television series, and earned astronomical sums. But the sudden success also had its downsides. Fame threw Hogan's personal life into chaos. His first marriage ended in a stormy divorce. Later, his relationship with Koslowski, once considered a Hollywood fairy tale, also ended in painful conflicts over finances, real estate, and taxes. In the years that followed, Hogan almost completely retired from the silver screen. Age, declining health, and public pressure forced him to retreat into private life. From a symbol of the strong and wild man, Paul Hogan gradually became a legend, whose shine faded in solitude. But regardless of the passage of time, he will always remain Crocodile Dundee for audiences around the world. An irreplaceable role. Mark Blum, of Richard Mason. When Mark Blum appeared in the 1986 film Crocodile Dundee at the age of 36, he was already a talented actor in New York. Although he lacked the glamour of a Hollywood star, he impressed audiences with his subtle acting, depth, and intellectual approach. The role of Richard Mason, while not significant, was sufficient to clearly demonstrate his acting style. Calm, intelligent, and utterly authentic. After his film career, Mark Blum remained loyal to Broadway, which he considered his true artistic home. For more than 30 years, he devoted himself tirelessly to theater, television, and film, without striving for fame. But in 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit New York hard, tragedy struck. Mark Blum fell ill and died at the age of 69 under tragic circumstances. His death shocked the art world, for he embodied an artist who had lived an intense life. He died quietly, but left an immeasurable legacy in the hearts of his colleagues and the public. Steve Rackman, also known as Donk. When Steve Rackman starred in the film Crocodile Dundee in 1986, he impressed audiences from the very first moment with his imposing stature, menacing gaze, and remarkably natural stage presence. Few people know that before his film career, Steve was a renowned Australian wrestler. He spent many years in the ring and was known for his incredible strength and fierce, brutal fights. Steve's life before the film was a roller coaster ride of sweat, injuries, and years of grueling training. He suffered several serious back, knee, and neck injuries, the effects of which would haunt him for the rest of his life. When his body was no longer strong enough to perform at the highest level, Steve unexpectedly took a new direction with the film. Donk doesn't play the lead role in Crocodile Dundee and doesn't have many lines, but audiences will forever remember him as a stark contrast to Mick Dundee. Donk is tall, rugged, direct, sometimes a bit grumpy, but nevertheless very Australian. Steve's unusual appearance and instinctive acting talent bring the character to life naturally, without making his movements seem forced. After the film's overwhelming success, many assumed Steve would continue his long film career. But contrary to expectations, he took his time and didn't let fame go to his head. Steve understood that film was merely a stepping stone, not his life's purpose. He returned to sports, training young fighters, participating in martial arts exchange programs, and competing in sporting events in Australia. In his later years, Steve struggled with the aftermath of decades of intense competition. Old injuries resurfaced, causing chronic pain. But despite his gruff exterior, Steve was actually a kind person. He led a simple, reclusive life, completely avoiding the scandals and gossip of the entertainment industry. Audiences haven't seen Steve Rackman on screen in years, but Donk remains one of the most iconic supporting actors in Crocodile Dundee. He's a man who left the boxing ring and inadvertently made film history with a small but irreplaceable role. Linda Koslowski, Sue Charlton. Linda Koslowski was born on January 7, 1958, in Fairfield, Connecticut, USA. Before she became famous, she lived for many years in New York City, where she supported herself, took acting lessons, and played small roles in theater and television productions. Her big breakthrough came in 1986 with the role of the beautiful and intelligent journalist Sue Charlton in the film Crocodile Dundee. Linda was only 28 years old at the time, very young and virtually unknown. No one could have imagined that this role would bring her international fame overnight. Sue Charlton embodied the modern woman of the 1980s. Independent, strong, and feminine at the same time. The collaboration between Linda Koslowski and Paul Hogan not only made the film a huge success, but also led to a genuine love story. Linda and Paul Hogan later married and formed a couple that attracted a great deal of media attention. Linda also starred in the second and third films in the Crocodile Dundee series, but after that, her film career stalled as she decided to prioritize her family. Her marriage to Paul Hogan lasted for years, but eventually ended, much to the disappointment of many fans. After the divorce, Linda retired almost completely from show business. She made no more films and rarely appeared in public. She chose to live a reclusive life, far from the Hollywood spotlight. Now, at the age of 65, Linda Koslowski leads a quiet life, ending the career of a star at the height of her fame. She will forever be remembered by audiences worldwide as Sue Charlton, the woman who entered the wild world of Crocodile Dundee and captured the hearts of millions. Michael Lombard, vi Sam Charlton. Michael Lombard had been a familiar face in Hollywood since the 1967, where he has played a wide variety of roles, including officers, soldiers, and powerful commanders. In the film Crocodile Dundee, at the age of 52 in the film 986, he gave Sam Charlton a mature, calm, and experienced air. His deep voice and imposing stature captivated audiences with every line he delivered. Throughout his career, Michael appeared in numerous major films and well-known television series. He was not a major star, but the film industry always valued his professionalism and his ability to portray a wide range of characters. In 2020, amid the COVID-19 pandemic that ravaged the United States, tragedy struck. Michael Lombard passed away at the age of 86 from complications related to the virus. His death marked the end of a journey of more than half a century dedicated to the art of cinema. A quiet, enduring, and much appreciated dedication. Caitlyn Clark, cell Simone. Caitlyn Clark was born on May 3, 1952 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. She is one of the few actresses to have enjoyed both a successful acting career and solid theater training. In 1986, at the age of 34, she played the role of Simone in the play Crocodile Dundee, a character who, though not often on screen, contributed significantly to the emotional depth of the story. With her calm demeanor, intelligence, and nuanced performance, Caitlyn embodied the image of a mature, profound, and authentic woman. After the film, Caitlyn Clark gradually withdrew from the film world to devote herself to her greatest passion, teaching theater. She returned to Pittsburgh, where she taught at the University of Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Opera Rock Conservatory. In addition to her stage performances, she continued to work with Pittsburgh Opera, teaching and sharing her enthusiasm for the art with the younger generation. Her life seemed to be going well, but in 2000, Caitlyn faced the biggest change of her life. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Throughout her battle with the disease, she never gave up her art. Caitlyn taught and performed until her health declined. Her unwavering zest for life and love of art earned her the admiration of many students and colleagues. Caitlyn Clark died on September 9, 2014, at the age of 52. Her death deeply saddened the Pittsburgh theater community and the hundreds of students she mentored. Viewers of Crocodile Dundee will forever remember her as Simone, the quiet yet emotional character in that iconic film. Reginald Johnson, Illy Gus. Reginald Johnson was born and raised in New York City in a working-class family. From an early age, he showed an interest in the performing arts and was determined to pursue a career in theater, a path that was anything but easy in the United States. Before becoming famous, Reginald spent years acting in small plays, taking on supporting roles, and trying to survive in the demanding world of the entertainment industry. When he joined the cast of Crocodile Dundee in the 1986 film at the age of 34, he played Gust, an endearing, charming, and incredibly believable supporting character. Although he didn't have much screen time, his natural and authentic style helped make Gust one of the most popular supporting actors with audiences. The role also marked a turning point in the career of Reginald Johnson. His breakthrough came with the lead role in the successful Die Hard action film series, playing a kind and mild-mannered police officer, a stark contrast to the muscular superheroes of the era. The character quickly became an American film icon in the 1980s and 1990s, bringing Reginald to a worldwide audience. Unlike many of his contemporaries who were embroiled in scandal, addiction, and tragedy, Reginald led a remarkably stable life. He appeared in countless films, television series, and animated series, and provided the voice of diverse productions both large and small. After his 70th birthday, he consciously retired from public life, reduced his media appearances, and led a quiet life after decades of dedication. In the hearts of viewers, Reginald Johnson always embodied the quintessential national supporting actor, not flamboyant or scandalous, but steadfast, kind, and beloved for decades. Jerry Skilton, also known as Nugget. Jerry Skilton was born in Sydney, Australia, in the year 1945, and appeared in numerous Australian films as a comedian and supporting actor during the 1970s and 1980s. He may not have the looks or style of a star, but he possesses a unique, unassuming charm, the kind of charm that makes audiences laugh just to see him. When Jerry joined the cast of Crocodile Dundee in the year 1986, at the age of 41, he took on the role of Nugget, a supporting character who added a quirky and humorous touch to the film. Nugget came across as naive, sincere, a little clumsy, but incredibly lovable. Although he only appeared in a few scenes, he managed to make the audience laugh every time, making the film all the more entertaining and charming. After the success of Crocodile Dundee, Jerry Skilton appeared in numerous film and television projects, remaining true to his comedic supporting roles. Unlike many actors of his era, whose lives took a dramatic turn, Jerry led a relatively stable life. He avoided scandal, the lure of fame, and the hectic pace that came with it. As Jerry grew older, he gradually withdrew from show business and led a quiet, peaceful life. He will forever be remembered by the public as Nugget, an unassuming yet witty character who added a touch of humor to the legendary film Crocodile Dundee. Michael Lombard vi Sam Charlton. Michael Lombard was one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces when he joined the Crocodile Dundee film franchise in the year 1986, at the age of 52. He had over 20 years of experience in the action genre, portraying a wide variety of roles, including officers, soldiers, police officers, and strong, serious characters. His deep voice, piercing gaze, and calm demeanor consistently made him a favorite for roles as commanders and leaders, characters who spoke little but had a powerful presence. In the film Crocodile Dundee, and the character of Michael, played by Sam Charlton, has relatively little screen time, but he embodies the modern world, discipline, and common sense, the exact opposite of Mick Dundee's wild and instinctive nature. This contrast makes the film more balanced and compelling. Michael doesn't need to be flashy. He exudes authority just by his gaze and voice. Michael Lombard was never a boxer, but he enjoyed the trust of every director and entrusted them with great responsibility. For decades, he appeared in dozens of films and television series, in both small and large productions. To his colleagues, he was the epitome of a professional actor, precise, serious, and dedicated to every detail of his role. Over time, Michael gradually withdrew from public life and led a quieter life with his family. In 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic raged through the United States, tragedy struck. Michael Lombard contracted the virus and passed away at the age of 86. His death was overshadowed by grief and confusion, preventing many of his colleagues from giving him a proper farewell. Michael Lombard's life ended quietly and peacefully, without fanfare or scandal, just like his decades-long career, quietly, with perseverance and dedication. Film buffs will always remember him for his unforgettable roles, including that of Sam Charlton in Crocodile Dundee. John Mallon vi Walter Riley. John Mallon was born in 1934 in New South Wales, Australia, where he began his acting career in local theatre before gradually transitioning to television. By the time he joined the cast of Crocodile Dundee, he was already a familiar face in Australian film and television, often playing supporting roles alongside more experienced actors and typically portraying middle-class characters. When he joined the cast of Crocodile Dundee in the year 1986 at the age of 52, he played Walter Riley, a character who, though not often on screen, added depth to the story. With his calm demeanor, lived-in gaze, and distinctive voice, John Mallon created a very authentic character. He was considered a typical supporting actor of his time, not a big name, but with incredibly solid acting skills. After the film, John continued to work on smaller projects, primarily for television. But contrary to what one might initially think, his quiet life in front of the camera was anything but peaceful. In the last years of his life, John Mallon battled cirrhosis of the liver, a serious illness that led to a rapid decline in his health. On the 11th day of August, 1989, John Meillon passed away in Neutral Bay, New South Wales, at the age of only 55, a very young age for an actor. His unexpected death shocked and saddened many of his colleagues and the public, who lost this modest but dedicated artist. Although not a major star, John Mallon remains unforgettable to this day for his role in Crocodile Dundee and as an indispensable part of Australian cinema of the 1980s.